Salma Hayek, who I love. I think she's just beautiful and hilarious and a brilliant example.
She has
done a video for Vogue, and it's a makeup tutorial of how she does, because
I think 56 and she looks about 32.
if not younger. I don't know how. Well, I do know how, because she tells you a few little tricks in that video. So she doesn't wash her face on a morning. She washes it thoroughly on a night time, and that's so all of the oils can stay within your skin. I've done it for a day. And today I'm going to try and do
Her makeup routine.
What she uses is, it's a lot of oils. She uses her fingers quite a lot. She doesn't use any brushes, which is, I'm not gonna lie, that's quite scary to me. I don't like a sponge, but I do like a brush. I'm gonna feel like wearing a pair of trainers with no socks on about this before. To me, I just think this is amazing. Since I've been using it, yes, I've got 2 of those spots. These do come up hormonally. I do have PCOS, and I never really get spots here or on my forehead. It's always here. I always get them, and it's always like 2 or 3 spots just randomly appear once every couple of months or once every month. But since I have been using this,
as you all know,
I have lupus. So with lupus, it obviously causes redness on the face. Now, I'm not saying this has healed it, but I have noticed a difference. I feel like my skin isn't as inflamed since using it. Now, this was, I think, full price. It is
£28 or
£30, and I got this for £9 off Amazon. They had a deal on, so keep an eye out, and they might have some deals. It is
snail mucin,
which I told my mum about it, and she just refused to use it. It does creep a lot of people out, the fact it comes from snails.
I don't know, just
doesn't bother me.
Just gonna pop
This headband on.
get all of that in. Now, I don't have
Face oil. Salma uses, is it Salma or Selma? I think it's Salma. She uses face oil, and she says that she massages the oil into wrinkles. She doesn't have any, but you know, she has a wrinkle up here and she rubs it in there. So what I do tend to use is, and this creeps some people out, I use
Vaseline,
the
tiniest bit.
on my eyebrows, here.
Some people don't like this.
If they have very oily skin, I say I'm a combination skin. I tend to get dry skin
And oily skin.
and I like to put a little bit here around my smile lines.
So really in like the T-zone of my face, that's where I like to put it.
I don't put it on my face, I just put it like there. Salma doesn't use this. She does use some sort of underlayer for her makeup. A double wear smooth blur primer. I've only used this a few times. Would I get it again? Probably not.
I got this
With the double wear foundation free.
It's good.
It is good. It doesn't change an awful lot though. It makes the application go on a little bit smoother, but it doesn't really yeah, it's not a game changer or anything. So I'll just pop a little bit, just a little bit of that on. And I think this is like
£30 or something.
something. It's a lot of money. Just, I love Estee Lauder, but it's not amazing. Other people might think it is, but for my skin type, it doesn't do an awful lot. But we may as well use it.
So we've got that on.
Now,
This is where Salma doesn't like to use.
use a brush. This is where we get scared.
Again, it's the
Estee Lauder Double Wear, and this is in Shell Beige 4N1.
Feels so weird.
Right, I'll just get that at the end. Wash me
Hair as well.
Okay. So she just goes in. Oh.
And she goes pat, 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 pat.
Pat, pat, pat. Which I tend to do that anyway. And then
Pat, 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 pat. Right, okay, so that's looking okay. So again, we're not using any
brushes.
We'll have some powder here. And we're just going to go in. Salma says,
And I think this is a very good way of looking at makeup, because I was thinking about this the other day, right? Salma says, doing your makeup on a morning or whenever you're doing it should be a moment for you to connect with your body. So really appreciate it, and don't be too hard on what you have or what you haven't got. So don't look in the mirror and go, oh God, I hate those spots there. You know, just focus on what you do like and what you can change to make yourself feel better. And I think
it's funny because I was looking
the other day, and there was this young lady, some of you might have seen it, young girl who she was probably my age. She'd just given
birth to a
beautiful baby, and the mother was a beautiful lady herself, and she had some foundation on, a bit of eyeliner, a little bit of lipstick, and the hate that this woman got because she chose to wear makeup while giving birth, which, may I add, you can't decide, really. A lot of people can't decide when they're going to give birth. It just happens. So this lady could have been out shopping and her waters might have broke. She might have had makeup on and then gave birth. She's not going to go, oh, actually, hold on a minute. I'm going to go and wipe all of this makeup off because I'm in the middle of giving birth. So the amount of hate that this lady got off other women, it was just...
what was meant to be a
special time, what was meant to be a really exciting time for her putting this video on of the birth of her baby, people turning around and saying it was fake, it was a stunt, it wasn't really her baby, she hadn't really given birth. It was
awful.
And it's just, when Salma said that, I thought, yeah, putting makeup on isn't always just a vanity thing to think, I look better than you. It's a way of coping. It's a way of putting one foot in front of the other. You know, when I gave birth to my son, I had makeup on. And when I first gave birth, the first thing I did was, obviously, tended to my son. But the next day, to make myself feel a bit normal, I put on a little bit of foundation and a bit of mascara just to make us feel like me again. and it's great for the women that don't do that. Some days I go in front of the camera or I go out to the shops and I don't wear anything, and you know, I just think we shouldn't
judge that way.
I've really went on a tangent here, but it is a way of making the best out of bad situations sometimes. Me, for example, I have been on the bottom all week with sick and doo-doo and changing beds and looking after me little poorly boy, and all I wanted to do today was get a wash and put some makeup on, and just to make us feel better. That's all. Anyway, let's go back to that.
Yeah, this is the bit
That's gonna really freak us out. Okay, so in with some, don't look at this, I dropped it and it smashed all over, but it's still my favourite contouring kit. It is Revolution. So
she just really gets in there
with her fingers.
Really gets in there.
She went
Okay. Just, oh God.
highlighter on. I always use my fingers for this bit anyway.
Pop a little bit. Tap, 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 tap.
She goes on about having a beautiful natural eyeshadow to her eye, which is actually just pigments of her skin. So Salma has a really nice, she calls it God's gift of eyeshadow, which it is because it is stunning. She looks like she has a constant smoky eye, and it's here. So I'm gonna have to, I don't have that, so I'm gonna have to add a little bit of that in myself, but I'm just going to use a little bit of the bronzer, the contour that I use, just to give it that little,
because as I say, it's a real
natural look. So as you can see, it's just
a little bit darker
than the other eye.
And
I have just purchased, I haven't used it yet actually, this is Scandal Eyes Rimmel, and it is a pencil eyeliner, but it does have, I don't know whether you can see,
a little
shimmer to it. I'll just put it on my hand here.
you can probably can't, I'll
show you when it's on, but basically we're just gonna
again, whatever we're doing,
we're following with a finger. That's what she does, and it looks amazing. So I like to always to give it that almond,
just add a little on the side, you know, and then we're going to go back in
in with some more brown, because I think hers is more darker than this.
She uses mascara.
For many too. She actually uses it in her hair because she has some grey streaks going through her hair, and instead of using hair dye, she uses black mascara. Well, I use mascara, comb my eyebrows.
This is a brown. So it's not as...
I do apologise.
If you can hear me fan in the background, it is very, very warm in England.
It's like
20 degrees on some days, and that in England is the equivalent to maybe 40, so.
we're not used to it.
And we don't have air conditioning, so.
And now we're going to go in with
Mascara time.
another thing that
Salma says is she uses, I tend to do this anyway, but she really gets into the root
of the eyelash. So she really, you know, does this
sort of motion. Oh.
2 minutes. I'll come back.
Back when I've got, but she basically,
Does a little jiggle.
it's like a jiggle and then a jiggle and a
Again with the blush,
she
she uses a like a pad.
but I don't have one of those, and I don't want to use a brush because we're doing the whole no brush thing, so I'm just gonna
Lightly pat that on.
go back over the eyes at the end, I feel, because I don't feel like there's enough on. But I'm going to move on to the lips. So
Salma usually goes
for a darker colour, and the trick is apparently to use 2 lipsticks,
sticks, which I do tend to
do anyway, and she said that this makes it stay on for a longer period of time without you having to top it up.
This was very cheap.
And it was Amazon, and it was £2.50.
Collection. Yeah, line the lips. It's sort of a
Rusty red plum, rusty reddy plum that she uses.
and then she makes a point of really
Sort of dabbing, and she said that this makes it stay on longer.
okay. And then Salma
Goes on to say at the end of the video that she doesn't use a lot of hair products. She tends to use her fingers
to really connect with the hair, basically.
That's, we're trying to connect, and actually so far I really think
I like using me fingers.
fingers to put my makeup on too. I think it's
Sort of
lay really nicely. It hasn't it's not cakey. It's quite similar to my skin tone. I think this is the way forward. However, I am going to have to keep some wipes or something at the side where I can keep wiping my hands, because I think that's sort of what gets us. But for the finished result, I mean,
So then she does a lot.
of this.
She looks really sexy, and I just
Look like a
well, begins with a D. It sounds like.
ick.
Well, guys,
That is it. This is the finished look. Yes, it's quite natural. It isn't a massive transformation. well, I didn't look too great before this video, but this is
how I've done the
Salma Hayek. I've tried to follow everything she uses.
Go and have a look at her
Vogue video. It is, I find her absolutely amazing, inside and out. She, to me, is beautiful. But yes, when I seen it, I thought I really want to try it because her makeup came out looking beautiful, and I've got to say, she has changed my mind on using fingers
for makeup.
Yeah, I will definitely
be using them again.
Maybe it's not all the time, but if I want more of a lighter finish, if I'm not going to a wedding or going out all night, for through the day, it is such a natural yet glamorous feel.
So yes, Salma,
Thank you so much for giving everybody and me that tip.
thanks so much
For watching, guys, and please remember to like, subscribe, comment if you'd like, and I will see you in the next one.